Hi, and welcome to Why Is Your Dog Sick? This is episode 4. Today we're covering vaccinations. So I'm going to start with what I do here with my puppies, and that is at 7 weeks we do a distemper parvo combination vaccination. Then at 12 weeks after they go home, I recommend to do another parvo distemper combo vaccination, and then again at 18 weeks another parvo distemper vaccination, and then at 6 months a rabies vaccination. And I only do the parvo distemper combo vaccination because they don't offer a parvo distemper vaccination separately anymore. It's only together. I go to jeffersonline.com to get my vaccinations, and I'm not sure if they are offering them single again, but if you can get them, a parvo by itself and distemper by itself, then I do recommend doing that. And then that would be a parvo vaccination at 12 weeks and then a distemper vaccination at 18 weeks. So you want to make sure you wait 6 weeks in between vaccinations and try to get a single vaccination by itself. You don't want to do a 5 or 7 combo vaccination and then rabies at the same time. It's just a lot for your dog to take in, or your cat, and especially if they're sick. So if there's any sign of illness that's not normal for them in their skin, hair loss, scratching, itching, ear infection, inflammation, limping, growing pains, anything that's abnormal for your pet, then you definitely want to wait until they're better, at least 6 weeks for them to get better. And if you are switching your dog's food, then definitely wait 3 months on the gluten grain-free formula before you do get any vaccinations, especially if they're ill. You want to give their system a chance to recover from anything that might be wrong with their previous food and make sure that they get better first, and then they have the strength to fight that vaccination, because it does go into their system, and their immune system has to go in and fight that invader, and that's how they become immune to that disease. So like my first girl, who was 6 months old with her, and I got her vaccinated not knowing she had a problem with the food, which didn't come about until after her vaccination anyway. But once she got vaccinated with the combo vaccination, which was like a 5 or 7 combo with the rabies vaccination at the same time, she just went immediately downhill after that, and her body could not sustain her on her own. And I never got past that with her, so it was always a struggle. Of course, she's passed now, and that was prior to me even knowing about gluten. And that was prior to even a grain-free dog food being an option. So times are changing as we go on, thankfully. And I think we're doing pretty good right now. Grain-free's, really the way to go with them. And like I said, there are other issues they can have with that food. So you want to keep an eye on which one they do their best with, because constant shedding, any itching with the food is not normal. So you'll want to switch that brand of food. So that covers the vaccinations that I do, and I don't do any others until about 5 or 6 years old. You can give them another vaccination, and it's up to you to do so, or you could also get a titers test every year, but that's a blood test. It's $100 generally to have your vet do, and they will check the level of antibodies in your dog's system to see if they need another vaccination or if they're good to go for another year. And that's something you could do yearly if you're concerned. Some people, are adamant that you get the dog vaccinations as recommended by the vet, and I say do what you feel comfortable with, absolutely. Don't listen to anybody else. But if your dog is sick, then you might consider waiting until they're better before doing those vaccinations, or they will be really ill. And I've seen a lot of puppies in the vet, and it's so sad to see them in there going for the mange treatments with ivermectin and stuff, and they don't know. They don't know. The vet doesn't say, oh, switch the food, it's a food allergy. So it's a really controversial subject between people. A lot of people are adamant that they listen to their vet. Of course, your vet's recommendations supersede mine, just because they are trained in that specialty. So mine are just a holistic recommendation, and I do say, don't listen to me over your vet, or only do what you're comfortable with. So if you do have vet treatment going on and you switch food, and you see improvement and feel comfortable then to take your pet off the medications, they're all things that you need to do on your own. So just know your pet should not continually be on medications, just like people shouldn't be. So I just wanted to make you aware of that and make sure that you know to listen to your heart and do what you're comfortable with. So you will have some issues going into the vet, probably doing your own vaccinations. When you do them, you want to make sure you have a vaccination card so you can keep a schedule of them, and you want to make sure you put the stickers from the bottle on that card so you can have that with you. And it's not illegal to do your own vaccinations, contrary to what some people are told when they go to the vet. And you are able to give them if you can order them in the state. So here in Colorado, we're able to do rabies. I can order all the vaccinations. And I would say ordering the vaccinations myself and going to the vet to get vaccination are pretty much the same. There's no real difference in price. As a breeder, I offer them to my puppy families and give them a better deal because I can divide it up. You will order vaccinations and get more than one dose. So if you can go in with other people, or if you're okay with, spending a little to be able to provide these vaccinations a little separated for your pet, then please do so. If you're not comfortable giving a shot to your pet, then you could probably take it into your vet and ask them to give that vaccination to them. If you have a good relationship, I can't see why they would have a problem with that. And just remember, when you give a vaccination, it goes in the back of the pet's neck. You hold the skin up, away from the neck, you pinch it. Then you will put the vaccination or needle in through the skin, but not into a muscle and not into a vein, and then inject. If you're not comfortable giving a vaccination, then don't give a vaccination. Have somebody else do it for you, or take it to the vet and have them give the vaccination. It can be really nerve-wracking to do, and it's really easy and simple, and the pet does not get hurt from it, but usually we're a little hesitant to do so, especially if you're not used to giving them. So next week I'm going to cover gluten and its effects on people and animals, which I'm finding happen to have a lot of the same effects. So since I am gluten-free now for 5 weeks, I just want to cover that a little bit to let people know what gluten can cause. The research in animals, of course, is not there. It's in people. But if we cover the things that happens to people, I'm sure they're pretty much similar to animals, especially since animals seem to be a lot more sensitive than we are. So I'm going to go over those with you, and otherwise I think we pretty much covered it for today for vaccinations. If you have any questions, let me know. I do go more into depth in my book, Why Is My Dog Sick?, at my website, milehighballmastiffs.com. If you have any questions, please also let me know on here, and I will try to cover those on my next episode. And please subscribe if you can. The goal here is to get a show where I can go in and help people with their sick pet and then come back later and show the improvement after a few months. So it would be great to be able to do it. I know a lot of this is controversial and radical, but hopefully we'll all learn from this and be able to help ourselves in the long run. So if you are in the Denver metro area, please let me know if you do have an animal that is ill. And also remember, it's not your fault that your pet is sick, and if you don't know how to fix these things and you aren't aware of them causing a problem and you aren't told, then there's no way for you to know. And my research has taken many, many years, so 9 years so far, and things keep coming out. Grain-free's brand new. They didn't have that back in the day when I first started. So these are all great strives that the market's making into making a better food for our animal. And I'm excited to see where it goes, and I think we're in a pretty good place right now. Better than we were in 2003 when I first started. So, again, what you don't know can hurt you, and what you do know can save your pet's life. Till next time.